Afternoon, Speed Gaming. I'm Kachiri. I'm going to be your host for the upcoming blocks here. That was a fun Zelda run there. Crazy gamified. You just wish you could turn on a dime. Let's go over some incentives coming up here. Later on today, we should have Linda's Inception. We have a few donation incentives for what kind of graphics, the world seeding character names, so get your money in for that. And then later on tonight at 1:10 a.m., we have Mega Man X Dashless 100%. I'm actually really interested to see how that's going to play out. So go ahead and get your $50 towards that. Then tomorrow we have some bonus runs for Puzzle Fighter and Street Fighter. And we also have some more BS action tomorrow as well. Coming up next, as you can see on the screen, we do have Randomizer Bingo for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So we're going to have a 2v2, I believe. Then after this, on the schedule, we do have Resident Evil HD Remaster and Mega Man ZX. So I'm going to go ahead and toss over to the commentators for this upcoming race here. As Maddie and Badmoons. How you doing today, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Before
Getting our card set up here, a little graphical glitch, don't worry, we'll get that fixed. So this is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Randomizer, Bingo, Adventure, 2v2 action. We're going to have Alucard and Vrukil on the right against Ace and Solsky on the left. And yeah, so Bloodstained Ritual of the Night Rando is a little bit different than a lot of randomizers out there. It is a Metroidvania game that some of you may have played, and if you haven't, you should definitely check it out because it's fantastic. Typically in a randomizer, you're going around the world trying to find all the different locations so you can get items, and this game's a little bit different. Instead of trying to find items, you're going to be trying farming enemies because every enemy drops something called a shard. These shards can be attacks, they can be passive benefits, but most importantly, all of your movement abilities are on shards. So double jump and high jump and all the things that get you around the map are on individual enemies you have to find and you have to figure it out. And that's the big part of the randomizer here. Usually in the normal game, these things are on bosses, but here, they could be anywhere. Our runners will be going around to get treasure chests. They can get equipment and items and things. They don't die, but also they're going to be searching for all their utility to get around the map. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll explain more about the game as we're going.
Yeah, there is a lot going on here, so we'll try to keep you updated. So the first thing here is we do have a bingo card. How do we win the game? The two teams are going to be trying to get 18 tiles first. The tiles have various objectives on them. For example, if you look straight in the middle, we've got 400 MP. So once one of the characters gets to 400 MP, they can claim that tile for their team.
Yeah, so we're just fixing an audio issue real quick. So we'll talk some more about the adventure. We're playing to, we said 18 spots on the card. So it doesn't matter if you get 5 in a row. We're just trying to fill out as many spots as we can.
So on these, you start off the game, we play on hard mode. Hard mode has extra problems with it, and those problems are the enemies hit harder, there are more enemies, and the AI of the bosses are a little bit more difficult too. However, it's a bit of a double-edged sword in the sense that the more enemies actually makes it easier to farm some of these shards. One of the when the game starts, you have nothing, and that's going to be a problem initially. We have a scenario called Weaponless Ship, where it is possible to get to the first boss and still not have a weapon. Our runners will be checking every chest along the way, trying to find a weapon, which will greatly increase their odds of success. And it looks like we are off. You can see this first Della hammer is just in the way. There is no real way to get past it. other than just tanking the hit and moving on. So we'll see our runners. There's a typical first couple chests that you collect. Since this is 2v2, we will probably see a little bit of divergence, since the teams can relay amongst each other which chests they can check so they don't duplicate their work, so to speak. And it looks like Ace has actually found a weapon already and equipping it. It is a partisan. It's not a very strong weapon, but it is a weapon, and that will be key. You will notice that everyone is kind of moving around a little strange, and what this is Miriam is doing backdash canceling. This allows you to move a little bit faster than just straight walking. So as we'll continue on here, it looks like everyone's going to go and collect that weapon. And Solsky has picked it up now. And Vrukil is about to find his as well. There may be better weapons on the ship, but you typically go with what you know you can get, at least at the beginning here. So this cannon mort that Solsky has just killed is a guaranteed shard drop. It's the only one in the game for Randomizer, with the exception of bosses, that will have a shard. However, what that shard is random as well. So it may or may not help you on the ship. I did miss what it was, though. Tis Rafe, it looks like. You will kind of notice that none of their runners are using this shard. It's not exactly mana intensive, but at the beginning of the game it is, and it's not easy to attack with either. And it might go where you want. I believe there is a donation incentive for changing Miriam's color palette. Later in the game, there is a location where you can visit a barber and change the appearance of Miriam. And based on the donation incentive, all of the runners will have to change their colors to match a seasonal variety. And I'm not sure when that'll happen, maybe around the 1 hour mark. All right, so we'll see that the runners will continue to kill any and every enemy that they can, just for drops. We did mention that they're looking for shards, but in addition to shards, enemies also have an item drop table as well. And there can be all sorts of things from these items, such as better weapons, but also crafting materials, including an item called Alkahest. Alkahest is essential for opening up your crafting capabilities. Typically, there are 3 enemies that will drop the Alkahest, and this is also randomized, so we don't know where this will occur, but it will be a big deal to the runners when they do find it.
Yeah, the important thing about the item drop tables is even though they get shifted around, the entire drop table for an enemy shifts to another enemy. So if you know the things that go with Alkahest, you can spot which enemy is going to drop it. And this works for other important armors and weapons and things too. So a lot of knowledge required to play optimally.
So it looks like both Ace and Alucard are near the end of the ship here. Ace hits the shard on the giant rat. That is an enemy that is often missed in shard collection just due to the fact that it doesn't really show up in very many places. Alucard now fighting the first boss of the game, Vapar, and Ace is joining him.
All right, it sounds like I can talk again without having audio problems. So hooray! You won't have to solo the whole thing.
So Alucard got a good pattern at first. What the runners are really looking for here, especially since they do have a weapon, but it's not a very strong weapon, is there's a spray pattern. It looks like Ace perfected the battle. That means he did not get hit, and you get a congratulatory medal. The medal doesn't do anything in the game. However, there is a tile that may ask for it. Although quickly scanning the card here, I don't see it.
Not today. No perfect bosses required. Although we do have 3 optional bosses, which will be fun and challenging for our runners.
Yeah, to get to each of these bosses, there's a key you have to find. So I guess that's another thing that we didn't directly mention. So in addition to the enemies having random shards and the enemies having random drops, the treasure chests throughout the entire game also have random items. And some of those are key items. Literally keys in this case, as to get to these optional bosses, the runners will have to find the Warhorse key, the Carpenter key, and the Millionaire's key. All 3 of these are on the bingo card.
Yeah, so now we get to visit the store. So the store is also randomized. You don't know what's going to be there, what you're going to be able to buy, including important items like waystones. Do we have waystones today?
I didn't see, but yeah, so a waystone is an item that you can consume that will take you directly back to town. It is very handy, and on the bingo card, column 1, row 4, there's this tile, Save Benjamin Twice. Each time you meet Benjamin, you have to pay him a waystone. So waystones will be a premium if they are not in the shop.
And, you know, importantly, things like potions might not be available. I see high potions there. Although in Bloodstained, most of your healing is going to be accomplished by eating copious amounts of food, because Miriam has a bottomless stomach.
There is also another benefit to eating the food. In this game, just like in the vanilla game, the first time you eat a meal or a food item, you'll get a permanent stat buff. So there's a little bit of a game where at the beginning, you can go to this store and buy all the food that's available. And do you eat it all, eat some of it, or save it all as kind of like an emergency potion?
And especially relevant because some of the food gives you luck bonuses. And luck bonuses are going to give you a questionable amount of additional % chance to get item drops off enemies, get shard drops off enemies, which you want. So do you up your luck percentage early? Do you wait? It's very interesting. On our card today, you can see at the bottom there is strength food bonus plus 10. So some of the... I don't know if we have any strength bonus items in the store, but that will be a card item to be looking for too.
Another thing here too is there's these Murderer's Dead quests. It's on the bingo card, in fact, in row 2, column 5. In particular, when you first get to town, there is exactly 1 quest. And it's to kill these morts 5 times. You can see Alfred doing it right now. So typically, you do that one, and then turn in the quest, and then 4 additional ones will become available.
Ooh.
And it looks like Solsky has already completed that first Murderer Dead and is working on the next one, which is to kill these dull hammers 3 times.
Yeah, and also we just see that Alucard picked up the Karabas familiar shard, which is important for one of our card items.
Yeah, there's it looks like it's column 1, row 3. There is sort of an Easter egg in the game where if you take this specific familiar to a piano in the woods, she will sing a song with you as you play. So we can look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, so a lot of these bingo card items are interesting or memey almost. The randomizer itself for Bloodstained, races of it are okay, they're fine, they're fun. But because of the way a lot of the movement shards are, you get access to a whole lot of the map real quick, as opposed to A Link to the Past, where you really have to strain and get out tons of items to be able to complete the whole game. The bingo lets us do fun things. It makes the routing more interesting because there's all these weird, quirky bits you have to do, like going to the piano or collecting breastplates or defeating optional bosses. And those make it fun.
It really adds a lot of variety to the game. Like part of the joy of playing a randomizer is replaying the game that but in a different way, and kind of learning on the fly what to do, while also knowing the game. I did notice that the Murderer Dead quest reward that Ace just turned in was 3 Solomon rings. Solomon ring is one of the best accessory items in the game. It has a huge stat increase and a passive that increases your rate of getting shards off of enemies. So that is pretty big. Okay, in the bottom right in Vrukiel, there is this blue chests in this game will respawn when you enter and exit a zone. This particular chest at the end of the ship will respawn when you enter the boss fight room. And this can be a good source of getting money early. The strategy found by one of our community members, Cross Product, depends on what's in that blue chest. So the blue chests are randomized, but they do have a set of items that can be found in each chest. This one looked a little bit more fair and a little bit less absurd. Meanwhile, if you want to go ahead, our runners have entered the entrance now.
What's this?
I was just going to mention that we've moved on from town and we're in the entrance of the castle now.
Into the castle? Fantastic. Maybe there'll be more enemies here. So we still don't have any movement tech yet, I don't think, right?
I have not seen any.
Okay, so right now we're just doing the plain old normal 1 jump slides backdashes, which means you can get through a decent portion of the map. But they're going to be really looking for any of the abilities that let them get past obstacles, so that they can explore more of the map. So we're going to see lots of... controller disconnect. Lots of farming of all the enemies in the game, so they can get the shards for double jump or high jump or any of the things. We have a Reflector Ray. Okay, so that's something. Reflector Ray gets us a little bit of movement. Probably the weakest movement shard.
Yeah. Although it is interesting that Solsky is checking this area. I call this area the Forgotten Zone. It's typically overlooked because it's early on in entrance, and you usually don't have a way to get up here until later in the game. But there are 3 items here, as well as 3 enemies that you typically don't see till later in the game.
Yep, so if you get something lucky off one of them, you can have a huge advantage. Or you can get wrecked by that sword.
They resist poison.
Instead, resist poison. Not useful.
Well, in this case, it may be useful in on the bingo card, column 1, row 1, we do have collect 5 differently named resist passage shards. But in terms of gameplay, I can't imagine really ever choosing to equip resist poison.
No. I don't think I've ever used any of the resist shards.
Yeah, unless it's your only one, and you don't have anything better.
Yeah, so there are, 5, 6 different colors of shards. There's directional, there's normal attack, there's manipulative, familiar, and passive. And you can have one of each equipped at a single time.
It is fair to note that if you do collect 9 copies of a yellow shard, it will become a passive, but that is usually not something worth your time in a randomizer race, or really any race of this game.
I did not know that. What? New knowledge. Oh, yeah, it's enhanced to 9. That's the other direction. So if you collect multiple copies of a shard, it gets better. There's also an ability to upgrade the shards by enhancing them in town, by feeding different items into them.
Yeah, 2 ways to improve your shards. Let's see. We see Alucard quickly scanning the archive. You can kind of see some information about what you've done in the game, how many times you've killed an enemy, what their drop table is, if you've seen it. But what I suspect he's checking is there is randomly one enemy in the game that will not drop a shard. So if you're attacking an enemy.
Jump.
Oh, double jump found by Ace. So if reflector ray is the least convenient movement shard, double jump might be the most convenient.
Yeah, double jump's really nice
everywhere. But yes, exactly, it is very nice. The point I was saying earlier, though, there is one enemy that will not drop a shard, and it looks like Alucard is rewarded. The shard off of Ghost that he was farming is Tis Resign. This is one of the best damaging shards.
Yeah, I can see that big old laser beam that just shoots out, torches everything in sight. Speaking of best damage shards, he also just picked up Summon Hellhound.
Summon Hellhound is also one of the most damaging shards. It is very mana intensive, though. So it's more of a late game thing, unless you find an item called Jeeble's Glasses, which will remove the mana cost of your spells. Tis Resign kind of almost being the opposite from Hellhound, so having both of them. Tis Resign's got great range and low mana cost, and Hellhound is less range but high mana cost.
So also, Alucard picked up Bloodsteel off of, I think, the Blood Grinder Knights, appropriately. So most of the movement around the map is from the shards that let you jump extra high or invert, which lets you reverse gravity. But Bloodsteel also is a utility shard that lets you drain the blood fountain in the front of the castle and access the underground. So Alucard would have access to that area now too if he chose to go down there.
You can see right now there is this Iron Maiden that Alucard has just kicked a toad into. This will allow you to push the Iron Maiden to get the chest behind it. Otherwise, you are required to find a shard called Craftwork to move that Iron Maiden.
Sorry, Frog.
Affectionately called Mr. President.
Yep.
Solsky has just drained his blood fountain, so we'll wonder if we'll see him traverse that path. It actually looks like he's heading to Garden, so maybe it's just for the future.
Well, he's going to want to pick up that double jump, which surely his teammate has alerted him to the presence of. And then you might see him go to Underground after that. So that is one of the cool things about playing 2v2. If one person on your team finds the shard, immediately the other person's going to go and get that exact shard to be useful. Oh, our first not shipped boss fight of the game.
Yeah, Zangetsu, at first glance, is actually a very difficult fight until you kind of learn the way the game works. You can kind of see, you'll just kind of like hop over him up and down, and the fight becomes somewhat trivial. But he will hit quite hard. 150 damage in some cases, and at this point, you don't have that much life. That may 2 or 3 hits will take you out, so you have to be careful. Ace makes quick work of him, though.
So meanwhile, Alucard picked up his double jump, which means that all 4 of our runners should have it pretty soon, because both teams know about it.
And we'll see which way, what kind of route divergence we have here. So far, everyone's kind of been on the same path.
So nobody's marked off a square yet. Unlike some bingos, this is a game where a lot of the checking off squares is backloaded because a lot of the stuff you need sort of a basic barrier of entry of doing some early stuff before anything's accessible. So we'll see a lot of card things get checked off soon, probably.
Yeah, and kind of the nature of the way the game is, too. You're searching for a lot of things. And as you progress, you know, you're looking for your movement charts to get around the castle, but, like, you're also hoping to incidentally, like, maybe pick up some of these squares as you're searching for your equipment. And then from there, you can kind of build your plan to go mode to complete, in this case, completing 18 squares. Get Alucard now in the Zangetsu fight. He's also kind of hopping up and down over Zangetsu and shooting him with his Tisrazine shard. Looks like he'll go back and save that afterwards. And Solsky has gone into the underground, so we will see a little bit of divergence of routes here now.
The underground is a fun and dangerous place because you're sort of skipping half the game to get there, so all the monsters are much more dangerous damage-wise if you're not careful.
I also personally find it to be kind of confusing. It is a very large area.
Oh yeah, very much. And I don't think anybody's picked up any good armor yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. When I play, I personally don't ever find armor, it seems. Or it's something I forget.
Turning in a bunch of quests. So he's on his way to get his 7 quests done. Oh yeah, Solsky picked up Flame Cannon down in the underground. So that's one part of that bottom right square. So, like, all of our runners are making partial progress on a bunch of different squares. We've got some resist passive shards. We've got Karabas. We haven't got the piano yet. So we're just incremental progress across the entire board, and then we'll just knock them all out at once.
Yeah, some of them will be interesting because they may come from crafting when Alkahest is found, if it is found. So when that happens, there may be a rush on tiles, so to speak. One thing of note, Miriam can't really swim. She can float in the water, but you will need some shard assistance to get through the deeper water. Either with the Deep Sinker Shard or Aqua Stream. There's a few other things that can trick your way through the water with Invert or even Dimension Shift.
But boy, are they miserable.
Yeah. Dimension Shift is sort of the ultimate in movement in the sense that it can get you just about everywhere. However, it's in the early game, it will be mana intensive, and if particularly in the water you mess it up, you'll have to chain like several dimension shifts in a row together to get to where you want, and messing it up will force you to start over, so to speak.
So you might be noticing that Alucard is doing some interesting triangle jumps. When you have double jump, if you jump twice up in the air and then attack down, you go at a diagonal angle, which makes you move faster than even normal backdashing. And it can be super helpful to get around areas quickly.
Yeah, I think it's the second fastest way to move around the map, and it's a lot easier on your hand than backdash canceling. The fastest way being a shard called Accelerator, and it's probably the happiest shard to find for any runner.
Oh yes.
As you may guess, Accelerator makes you move faster, but it's also very easy to do. It's simply just holding down a button. So Alucard just handed over a waystone to Benjamin. Benjamin's located in 3 spots in the castle, and you have to do it in order. So the first one is right here in entrance. The next one will be in the cavern somewhere near a waterfall. So you have to have a waystone to feed him, so to speak. And really that's all there is to it. He'll give you a little bit of money and he'll be out of there.
So over on Alucard's stream, you saw that he sort of stood next to a wall for a minute. It's because the bottom left goal, use both Detective Eye and Caraboss to discover secrets. If you have the Caraboss familiar out and you're next to a secret wall you can bash in, she'll basically go full Navi mode and be like, hey, listen, and tell you where the item is.
I did see Ace took down the Craftwork boss. I didn't see what the rewards were there. He is using 8-Bit Zombie, which is a unconventional shard.
That's an accelerator for Mr. Alucard.
Oh,
see that big blue burst of flame? He's trying to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
I bet he is happy, and he's probably relayed that information to his partner, who should shortly go and get it.
I didn't see what that actually dropped off. Was it poltergeists?
I missed it as well.
Yeah, so Rukiel will head up there almost
like
immediately.
Ace has it as well.
He must have just gotten it too. Alright, so both teams know about it, so that's not a huge difference. Solsky is certainly going to head right up there right now. Or not.
Yeah, and it looks like they'll just continue to farm up the rest of the shards here.
Demons, interesting. That's a very friendly monster for Accelerator Beyond, because demons are in lots of places on the map.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, I think that this is probably for the best this way to keep things from spiraling out of control and keeping a competitive race. If one team finds Accelerator and the other doesn't for 30 minutes, they're it'll put them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, so one of the interesting bits about the way all the monsters are laid out is there are certain monsters that only appear in one spot in the entire map. Obviously, there are bosses too. So the equivalent of your catfish check in A Link to the Past is tracking down Light Elemental who's only on a couple screens, or, God forbid, Kune Kune on the train.
Yeah, Kune Kune being a boss where you have to sit and wait for it to show up. It's also not an easy fight.
And the shard might not even drop.
Certainly not. It would be a desperate time if our runners were looking there. So I see Ace has Dimension Shift.
I did not see that drop either. So Dimension Shift is the ultimate technology of movement. It lets you teleport a short distance, which basically means with enough effort, you can get anywhere in the game just about.
So between Accelerator and Dimension Shift, you also have the double
Nice
jump and
combo.
Reflector Ray. It should really open up the seed to a bunch of diverse paths. Solsky's still in the shop here. Looks like he's looking at the dismantling list. Probably just getting a feel for what to gauge what can be got through dismantling and how it applies to the various goals on our bingo card.
So Ace just picked up Shuriken, which is important for another one of our card entries, which is to defeat 5 assassins or ninjas using only Shurikens. So one of the things you got to do as a bingo runner is constantly be looking at all of the card items and saying, okay, I've got the thing I need to do this later, because you start counting up and knowing, can I do 13, 14, 15, 16 of these items? Because eventually you're in go mode. You have enough things to get to the end. You just have to go around and do all the stuff. It's a variable number. Usually in casual races we do 13 rather. We've been trying out 15, 17, 18, and it just seemed like a good number for the length of the race we were looking for this marathon. And yeah, so Alcahest got crafted by Solsky, which means once you craft a thing, you can go buy it in the store if you want. This is super handy because it's much easier than having to farm it or anything like that. Alcahest is specifically useful for dismantling items. Since the entire crafting tree of the game is randomized, normally a shirt that takes a cotton and a bronze could take a random sword and some mask. And that is a two-way street. One, you can craft the item if you have the components, but if you have the destination item, you can dismantle it into the components that it becomes in this weird randomized tree. And since anything can be in that crafting table, you have to look at all of your items and see what they dismantle to, because something as important as Jeeble's glasses, which says you don't have to spend MP for the rest of the game, could be one of the components from a random piece of armor or a potion or anything at all. But all of those decompositions require some number of Alcahest potions, and if you can just buy them from the store, you can do it as much as you want as long as you've got the money for it. And if you're really clever, you can sometimes trick the game and get yourself infinite money, because sometimes, the stuff that something decomposes into are more expensive than the thing that you had to buy in the first place.
The randomizer economics only makes so much sense.
So Alucard's fighting Craftwork now. Nice easy fight when you have Tisro Zion and Accelerator.
Well, and that's where Dimension Shift is on.
Aha. So, all of the knowledge is shared by everyone right now, except for the Alkahest crafting, I think. That's the only thing that Solsky's team has on Alvin Friend.
Team Vrukard.
Team Vrukard.
That said, Vrukil still doesn't seem to have Accelerator yet, but maybe he is working on that right now.
Yeah, he's
He
got
is where a demon is located.
Solsky's in the water. He just learned Summon Chair, the most important thing in the world.
Oh yeah, what does Summon Chair do?
Summons a chair. You can sit on it.
Well, there you go.
Oh, Solsky's got his accelerator now, too. He got it from an underground demon.
Oh, convenient. Alright, Ace is killing a Simian. This is also another shard that's often an enemy that's forgotten, because it's not located in very many places.
And the places it's located in are very inconvenient for farming.
Yeah, so he didn't get the shard, but I expect he'll just move on for right now rather than farm it. In fact, it looks like he's going up into Oriental. This is a late game area, so it'll be quite dangerous.
Yeah, he's going in the back door, too. So, yeah, Dimension Shift basically opens up the entire map. Like I said, with enough effort, you can get pretty much anywhere in the game with it. And he's going to use it to get to this endgame spot. And if there's something valuable there, that could be a nice big advantage. He also picked up some crystal armor, which will make him take a lot less damage. Also, we're lying. He's not going to Oriental. Never mind.
I'm just peeking in to check the... there's 3 items there in the... So that part of Cathedral there is locked. Normally you can only get there by traversing through Oriental. So you're just checking the items and then moving on. One thing to note, though, you can do these kick jumps off of enemies and candles to kind of get some extra height here. You can see Alfred was trying it before just giving in and using Dimension Shift to get to the top there. A minute earlier, Solsky had done it to get a item right outside of town that normally you need some sort of movement power for. Can be a little bit faster if you get it on the first try.
Yeah, Vrukil's still trying to get that accelerator. Any day now.
Well, sometimes the downside of Randomizer here is it is random when you get the shard, so you may get stuck farming for a while if you have some bad luck. Part of the benefit of 2v2, though, is like in a solo scenario, you probably never even know that accelerator was there.
Yeah, it does cut down on problems that way. Oh, he hit the bell.
Solsky just casually gets the Nayabon shard running through that room.
Yeah, the Nayabon, the big cat, is one of the rare spot enemies.
Getting a shard on the first kill is always unlikely and a lucky thing that you just happily accept.
It's a good feeling.
Solsky's now on to craft work. He'll collect his Dimension Shift here in a moment, as well as Vrukil. Yeah, so the Craftwork throwing the movable object at Vrukil. It's kind of random whether he just crushes it and hand or throws it at you. All 4 of our runners now have Dimension Shift.
And accelerator? Yes.
Looks like and accelerator. So you got even footing on that ground.
So everyone's got all the movement they need to get just about anywhere. Although they'd love to have high jump or invert to make getting up those big things that you can see you have to warp your way up to. A little bit slow for Solsky there.
Yeah, actually, Solsky just did a little bit of tech where you can dimension shift through this rubble. Normally, you have to knock one of these bells down to crack the floor open, but he kind of did it in a reverse manner, clipping through the ground. Saves a little bit of time if you, especially if your partner's already gone through part of Cathedral.
Yeah, because you don't have to check every single chest because your partner's told you, hey, that's a bunch of garbage. Don't bother.
To my knowledge, Deep Sinker and Aquastream have not yet been found.
That is correct.
Although Linkworth is saying Aquastream was found.
Was it? Oh, Light Elementals. Yep. So let's talk about our incentive. We got a little incentive for some hair cuttery, hey?
Oh yeah, what is that? What can we do there?
I believe you can donate toward one of the 4 seasons, and whichever of those win, and we're going to do that somewhere around the 1 hour mark, all of our runners will need to go back to the barber, get a haircut, change their outfit so that they appropriately reflect the requested season. I don't actually know how to see what's winning.
Hopefully we'll get a tally on that in a little bit then.
Yep.
Alucard's now on the Bloodless fight. Kind of interesting note here. The game updated just the other day and added Bloodless as a playable character, as well as made a few changes to Randomizer. However, was not as many changes as we had hoped, but encouraging nonetheless.
Yeah, Bloodless is a lot of fun to play as, so it's good to see they're still supporting the game. We're looking forward to even more patches. Oh, there's Invert. Was that on the Horsey? Or was that on the Simian?
Oh, that would be huge
no!
on the Simian.
So Invert is one of the more important movement charts in the game. Lets you invert the entire gravity/screen. So you're walking on the ceiling, which means you can fall up to the top of a very high area, for example.
It's also a nice way to get through the water areas. Although if it looks like Solsky's team then has both Aquastream and Invert. Oh, we got a Bloodless death here. Bloodless can be quite difficult in the early game. She has some attacks that can be brutal. Ooh, it looks like he's a while back. Maybe was it a warp right by?
It was a warp right by there.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Not a huge loss.
Yeah, and I will say, I know in my runs, a death or 2 to Bloodless is not uncommon. So it'll set you back only a couple minutes.
Yeah, they still don't have great weapons. I haven't seen a Valkyrie sword or any of the really cool things. Tisro's nice.
Oh, it looks like we have our first tile mark here.
Yes.
7 Murderers Dead quests have been completed. This is by, I presume, Team Vrukard in green.
Kill those murderers dead.
The famous line by the quest giver here. I do not recall the NPC's name. Alright, Alucard doing some tech here on the Bloodless fight. If you use Bloodsteel, you can steal her blood so she does not heal for a phase 2. It looks like it may have not gotten it off in time, but certainly worth the try.
And it looks like Solsky found Jeeble's glasses in the underground somewhere. So Jeeble's glasses is a very important item because when you are wearing them, you do not spend MP, which means those very expensive things like Summon Hellhound that cost 200 MP a burst are free.
Yeah, it looks
so
like
he's going to be blowing things up.
He anticipated this too. I think he's upgraded the Hellhound shard already.
Yeah. Looking at Oak. Interesting.
I think he's trying to discern where the Alcahest drops are. You can kind of like, if you know the loot tables of the enemies that drop the Alcahest and you get one piece, you can kind of guess where the other, you know, which ones will drop Alcahest.
I thought he had crafted it, so I guess it didn't work.
Yeah, or perhaps it was just not efficient.
Fair. So now we're going to see Solsky go into hyperdrive, where he can just blow everything up.
Between Jeeble's Accelerator, Hellhound, he's got some movement, invert, like he's going to just go to town. So we have some actually diverse routing locations now. Alucard in the Libra. Solsky in the underground, and I guess we've got in garden both Brukiel and Ace kind of following one another.
Oh, that looks like a place where there might be a piano.
Oh.
But Brukiel didn't stop there, because I don't think... Well, maybe he's going to go there later.
It's also possible, since only one member of the team has to do it, that they have it planned for Alucard to check it later.
Quite true.
Listening to the entire song is it's not too time consuming, but you know, every second counts in a race. And Ace is playing on
Ace is playing it right now.
It's actually kind of a beautiful song. I like it. For that matter, the tracks in this game are phenomenal. Just about every zone is a banger for me.
Yeah, we only have straight game audio from Alucard for this race, unfortunately, so we're not able to play the song. Because they're communicating in Discord back and forth, we didn't have time to set up all of the split out audio for everybody on their individual machines.
Alright, so we see that Team Ace Solsky has now checked the box for Sing with Caraboose, and Team Brucard has collected 3 familiars. One thing also I noticed is silver bromide was found by Brukiel in the garden. Mm-hmm. And yeah, invert is on Simeon, confirmed there.
Brukiel got it. Good.
So silver bromide, why is that important?
So silver bromide lets you take a photograph, which is important to be allowed onto the train. You have to make your own identification. So to get that done, you got to go back to town, get your photo, and then you have to go to a guy called OD in the library. Then you can access the train, which has lots of fun monsters on it.
Yeah, it gets you access to two other zones with, I don't know, not quite, maybe 10, maybe not quite, some amount of enemies that are unique only to those zones, as well as the treasure chests that are in that area.
Yeah, so we were saying that Dimension Shift gives you access to most of the map on its own. But there are 2 items that are items that really also open up areas. There's Silver Bromide, which we just talked about. And then there is the endgame sword called Zangetsudo. And that allows you to access the last areas of the game, which we'll get to later when maybe somebody finds it. Alu's farming up library monsters now. In fact, he's going to go visit OD now.
Yep. So when you visit OD, he gives you a choice of several books you can check out. Initially, you can only take one. And they do various things. Usually you can your choice of a stat boost. We've come to find that the last book in the list, which increases your directional shard damage, really kind of speeds things up, just because the quicker you can eliminate enemies, the quicker you can get their drop, and the quicker you can do just about everything.
I still get the luck book, which is probably a mistake.
The luck book does have its merits, particularly if you're looking for item drops, as luck will increase, allegedly will increase your rate of getting items to drop. And I believe Alucard just found Zangetsudo in this chest with the succubus here.
I believe so. So the seemingly end game boss of the game, which is Jeeble, if you defeat him with Zangetsudo specifically, and not actually kill him all the way, you get access to the end part of the game by chopping a red blood moon appears over the fight when he's at low health. And that's how you get access to the end game areas, the Den of Behemoths, the ice place, the place with ice.
The ice tomb.
Ice tomb.
Yeah, interesting. There is an objective not on this card to encounter Jeeble and game over by defeating him. So if you do not have Zangetsudo, you cannot slice the Blood Moon Grimoire, and thus you must kill Jeeble, causing a game over.
Pretty funny that the two sides have not done any common spaces on the bingo board.
Yeah, it is quite interesting.
We can see that Alucard just picked up Directed Shield, which is the second half of that pair. A lot of the bingo card items have, two shards that you just have to find. They also both seem pretty close to 400 MP.
5 resists have been found also now on Ace Solsky's side. So currently have a score of 4-3, but lots of bingo Bloodstained here to be played. But
we can see Vrookil's doing the thing.
Yeah, if you bump up OD, kind of a callback to Symphony of the Night here, you'll get some items to spawn.
But at this point, they've found Zangetsudo, they've found the bromide, and those are the two most important items to find. Although there are some goals in the card for other things you can find in the chest, like the Valkyrie equipment.
Yeah, as well as all of these keys to
the keys.
Optional bosses. I don't know if any team has found any of these keys yet.
Carpenter's key was on the ship.
Okay. That's probably the boss you want to fight the least in the sense of he is difficult. Hits like a truck.
Well, Solsky with Jeebles and Hellhound would probably be fine.
Yeah, he's with a decked out loadout here. Really, anything in the game will be trivial at this point. It's just a matter of how quickly can you do it. A little bit of sync here. We have 3 runners all in the shop at the same time. To watch Ace hop through the first section of the tower here. It's kind of a path of divergence here. You can head towards the Libra, or you can head further up the tower, which is looks like what Ace is going to do.
Yeah, and like I was saying, with the bingo adding lots of interesting routing choices, this is part of what makes this really cool. Like, all of these options are valid and good options based on the card that you're on and everything. Oh, did we just see an Aegis plate on Ace's side? I think we did.
And that'll be important too. The Aegis plate will block all trap damage, and that also happens to include lava, which is one of the tiles on our bingo card here. I know myself personally, I'll equip Aegis plate and just leave it on for convenience sake.
Yeah, Aegis plate isn't the strongest armor in the game, but all of the traps do huge damage. So it's nice to not have to worry about hitting a spike for 200 points or something. Especially lava.
Yes. The lava can be perilous. You get hit by the lava, it knocks you back into more lava. Looks like we do have finally a mutually shared tile here, with both teams having 3 familiars.
So as we approach the hour mark, let's talk about incentives here. We've got Kuchiri here to talk about that. Maybe.
Looks like we are having audio issues with Kuchiri at the moment.
Alright, I have my mic muted. My bad there. It happens. So we do have $40 into the costume choice so far. It looks like we got $20 for winter and $20 for fall. So if anyone wants to see either one of those, just a single dollar contribution will push you to that favor. Or if you guys want to see spring or summer, a $21 contribution will get you to that as well. Looks like we had a direct contribution of $5, but no comment to where they wanted the funds to go to from Francis Uzon. And I'd like to thank YaBuddy911 for the SGLIVE 2020 shirt pre-order. If you haven't seen those designs are actually pretty awesome. And let's actually talk about prizes, because that's actually a prize up for grabs right now. You get your donations in, you'll be entered in to win a SGLIVE t-shirt. That actually ends here very soon, actually. I think it ends in 10 minutes. So if you want a free t-shirt, get your donations in now. So yeah, that's all I got right now.
All right. So we've got Solsky fighting Alfred.
Alfred is one of the most difficult bosses in the game, particularly if you don't have quick movement. So between everything that we have, it wasn't too difficult, but certainly he's often one that I will put off for later.
Yeah, so Alfred's one of the probably the only monster in the game who doesn't drop a shard himself. You have to go downstairs to pick up the shard you get from him. And it was another resist shard, so that gives them even more than 5, which is totally worthless, but whatever.
Turns out Alfred is not actually a demon.
Turns out. Even though he's kind of a jerk.
Well, yeah, you know. So I see Alucard. Alright, it looks like... Oh. Okay, so Alucard is killing this dragon over and over again, not for the shard, but for the drop, which is Alcahest.
Oh my. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, this is not an easy enemy to farm.
It's the X1 too.
Oh, go ahead.
So to deconstruct an item rather, You need a decent number of alkahest for each one. They can range from 2 to like 20.
Yeah,
I don't know if they've targeted specific things they want to deconstruct or...
That was exactly what I was just about to speculate on, is if they've done the math, so to speak, to know how many they need.
Yeah, and they also have not realized it's available from crafting, although I don't think we confirmed that the crafting worked. Sometimes when you craft alkahest, it bugs out and doesn't put it into the store. Oh wait, alkahest can be dismantled for 6 alkahest? Oh my.
So I guess you just need 1 or 2 rather. You get, well, 6.
It's supposed to put it in the store,
way, right?
But sometimes it doesn't put it in the store.
It's always important to save first before you experiment with alkahest.
Yep.
Right, we've got Ace into the Andy fight now. Kind of hopping around, giving him a hard time here. Not a particularly dangerous fight. And it's over just like that. And there's also a treasure chest there. You'll pick up a bunny morphosis.
And a fried fish. Who doesn't like fried fish?
It seems to be all over the castle.
That's another key.
Did we find a boss key?
Warhorse key. So that's nice, because you'll be able to go fight Revenant, who is probably the easiest of the 3 bosses that are optional on this card.
Yeah, it should be noted, these optional bosses are all kind of post-game, end-game bosses that are kind of challenges set up after you've beaten the base game.
Yeah.
Zangetsu kind of giving Vrukil a hard time here, jumping up and not giving him a rope to get up, do it himself with invert.
And let's hope for no train bug.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are like 7 different ways, maybe an exaggeration, but several different ways that the boss here, Glutton Train, can soft lock your game. Hopefully no commentator curse here.
Yep. I always forget that item's up there. I need to learn my train map better.
Them all. There's a new one I remember I forgot about.
So interesting that Vrukil is going through the train without the shuriken, because that is a card item. I don't think he has shuriken yet, actually.
If he does, he seems to have forgotten about it one way or another. But there is another opportunity. You can also do that tile in Oriental on the ninjas. Granted,
right.
The ninjas have more HP. More fiction on the assassins.
We're on to the Glutton Train boss. Turn off that familiar.
And the familiar is one of the ways you can soft lock. Looks like he is going to turn the familiar off right now.
Oh, good. You were listening. It looks like we're okay.
Nice. Crisis averted. And then, alright, meanwhile, Solsky has blown his way into Inferno. This is, in my opinion, this is one of the better places to get to in the game in terms of quick chests and quick, unique enemies. The problem is getting here is typically difficult.
Yeah, it's in the corner of the map. There's lots of things that block your path there. And everything here hits really hard, because it's meant to be one of the last places you go in the game. Ace picks up the shortcut shard, which unfortunately offers you no shortcut anywhere.
Yeah, the white-colored shards are usually the ones you get excited about because they are the movement shards, with the exception of Shortcut. Kind of the only one you get sad about.
So Ace and Solsky up to 9 entries on the card. Taking a big lead. Although the others won't be too far behind. There's a lot of things that are just trivial to finish once you get around places.
Yeah.
Looks like Alu's headed up to the termination hall. The Hall of Termination.
You have to get past this Abyssal Dragon first. It is a boss, but it does not always drop a shard, and the reason is it's also a basic enemy in the Den of Evil. So if you get a shard there, it's considered very lucky, because it may be something that will not be available to you till much later in the game.
Vrukil just got his shuriken. It looks like Solsky's going up against the Revenant to pick up that card spot. And he's just throwing Hellhounds for hundreds of damage. Good lord.
Yep, blink and you'll miss it. Vrukil does have this green circle around him. This is Detective's Eye. So if he can find a hidden wall, which there should be one very close by, he'll be able to identify a secret, which is our column 1, row 5 tile. Looks like he accidentally shot that wall, so he may have to go find another one.
Oops. That is the problem when you have Tisro. You're just torching everything.
Tisro has a good... Most walls take 3 hits to break down, but Tisro will do it in 1.
Yeah, so Kuchiri, go ahead with some donation talk.
All right, I'd like to give a big thank you to Just Frickin' Nation, who gave us a $5 donation with a comment, "Winter is coming, Solsky." And I also like to thank Ben Kirshner for t-shirt pre-order. Don't forget, got these great t-shirts out there. That also wraps up that prize that was up for grabs. And so up now is some buttons. We got some SGLIVE buttons that will be available until about 18 months, 6 o'clock tonight. Gotta love army time. Anyway, but yeah, so winter. That's the winner of this incentive.
Winter is coming! And who doesn't love buttons? Everyone get in there and donate for buttons. You want buttons. So we'll deliver the news to the runners, and they'll eventually make their way to Haircut Land to get a haircut. And a real job.
Solsky's picked up his silver bromide now, too. Maybe just hedging his bet in case Ace finds something essential on the Bridge of Evil side.
Yeah. So Vrukil finishing off the Reflector Ray boss.
Oh,
He's
it's
going to be
high
rewarded
jump.
with high jump. Oh my. So if you can guess, high jump lets you jump very high.
Alright, and he did notice the secret wall there with his detective's eye. And it's just a matter of time till maybe they don't even realize they have that tile yet. Oh, nope, there they go. Looks like they've just figured it out and are ticking it off now.
Good, good. Getting all the familiars this game.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. Sometimes you can get through the whole thing without finding one, and other times you collect them all. You gotta catch them all.
Alu is upgrading his Hellhound. Looks like he's going to be the one to go fight all the bosses when it is time to fight all the bosses.
We do see Ace is now in the salon.
Ooh.
The first of our runners to make it here to set up this winter color scheme.
Let's get some good winter looks here. So the very fashionable Pleiades helmet is definitely helping out here.
Yeah, it's
The key-
an excellent accessory choice for this style.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the winter without good accessorization. You're going to look like a fool.
Right. You know, it's important. Winter offers a lot of opportunities to really dress yourself up too. You know, summer, you kind of start losing a little bit of clothing, but winter, you can really kind of build up on the accessories and coats, and it can be a great time.
With winter, you can make a really cool look. Bye, everybody.
Enough of that. All right, we'll see what he does. He looks like he's going for, oh, there we go, light blue and icy scene. Fruitkeel's scanning the list here to see if he's collected all the shards in the area for exiting the sorcery lab. I missed what happened with Alucard. I think he just, wherever he was, he wanted out. He reloaded his game.
Is he going for Alchemic Bounty?
It could be. So Alchemic Bounty gives you a chance to get a duplicate item in crafting, and sometimes you don't get it. So kind of the easiest way to try is just to try again and load your previous save. Scanning the bingo card here. Yeah, it is
It's right there in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. Row 2, column 3.
So yeah, Alu is playing the item game. Looking to find sunglasses, looking to find breastplates, kung fu vest, hound vest, assassin's vest. All the things. And potentially the Valkyrie's equipment. A lot of stuff on there.
Alright, Solsky's made his way to the hair salon now. Let's see if he figures out how to work this. As I understand it, he's never been here before.
Nope. Oh, he canceled out. What a fool. He's gonna do it all again. Womp womp. That's a good winter look. Yeah, Verukiel picked up the Shuriken shard. In, off of the Guzians?
I think oh, maybe.
No, it was something... No, it wasn't Guzians. I think it was Cywraith.
But I don't think he used it on the train, did he?
He might have.
Maybe I missed it while we were enamored with the hairstyling.
It's possible. Maybe on his trip back.
Yeah, on the way in, I don't think he used it, but maybe on the way back he did. He just missed it.
Alright, and Alucard has begun the exploding Hellhound portion of the game. Looks like he's gonna go fight.
Nope. I think he's on his way to the piano.
Oh, of course.
We'll have audio for this. Assuming he can shift through this wall. Here we go.
Use invert. Does he not have invert?
possible. Invert was on the Simeon, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So it could be one that you skip. Granted, the other shards that have been found thus far.
All right, so he's gonna go to the piano.
Cinder and blight veil the air, bring the night, and your eyes they close. Sweet repose suspended. The hours fly, years go by. Then the morning comes, shadowed by the moon, and the angels for whom you speak cry for light, cry for all of us, shards of hope gathered in the name of the meek. Rise, our champion, now rise.
Bravo.
Good job, Caraboss.
I do like that song though. It's a nice touch.
It is.
Alright, so we've got Ace now in his fight here for a high jump shard. And the other runners are in the underground. The Solsky's maybe just doing some shard cleanup here, as he's been through Desert and Inferno already, and Team Vrukard, I believe, has not been there yet, so that'll probably be Vrukiel's plan. Maybe he will do some shard cleanup first as well.
So I do notice that Solsky did not get the guard against Lavagol, which means he must have not been to Tower yet when he went to Inferno. He didn't have an Aegis plate.
Oh, that's a good catch. It's also possible their team may not... Well, I thought Ace actually has the Aegis plate already.
Yes, he does.
So maybe it's just a routing decision where you do what you can while you can and then go back for it if you need to.
Alucard's back in crafting world. Not sure what he's doing.
He did get the Alcahest off the dragon, so if maybe he's trying for alchemic bounty again. I think that's what's going on.
Yes. He just exited out and is gonna go back in. So yeah, we're looking for 18 spots on the card for this bingo race. Right now, Team Solsky Ace, which probably has a name, has 13 ish.
I count 12, but
12.
my counting skills have been wrong in the past.
So it's 12 to 9 right now. $14 to 9 right now.
Yes, Team Solus.
Yep, lava's coming up now. So it might be that they think they're in go mode right now. They might be.
Yeah, and there's the guard against lava too.
It's gonna be cow time pretty soon too. So pose on a cow statue. There is a iron cow in the middle of the lab, which is beyond the Inferno zone here.
Yeah, if you hold the up button and stand still with Miriam, she will strike a pose. And if you continue to hold it further, she'll strike another pose. And that's really all there is to it for this objective. It's mostly an objective of just getting to this location. But I guess as we do kind of get higher up on the scoreboard here, does it look like Team Solus has a path to go mode now? Scan the card here and kind of try and figure it out, as I'm sure they are as well. Vrukil now making his trip to the hair salon to set up a wintry theme. I do like the crown, definitely goes with the hair here for winter. So I count 16 squares currently for the purple side. So we do know that they have the Carpenter key, and that is what Ace is doing right now. So when the Carpenter is defeated, that'll be one more square for them. Solsky did just get Gold Bullet from Doppelganger, so if they have Jackpot, that would be it. So they are in go mode. They need one more tile after this Carpenter kill. And unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, the Carpenter is a very difficult boss, so we'll see. Ace will give it another try here in a minute. Alucard's now on the Glutton train, hoping for no soft lock here. Maybe looking to get high jump? I don't remember specifically the reason why both runners would have to go to this location.
That was the only thing of value that I saw there. It is nice. Solsky making his way up to the Carpenter land.
There's intel that Jackpot is located in Oriental, so if he gets Jackpot and they defeat Carpenter, that will be game.
So he's going up to get Jackpot. Oh, he's getting Jackpot, not...
Yeah, and there it is.
Ace just got wrecked again.
Oh. Well, I'm sure I'll give it another go, and at this point, Solsky could probably just head that way too and see which of them gets through it first. Solsky's a little bit more decked out, I think, on attacks.
Solsky is standing on a cow. Good job.
Not sure really what's going on now. There's no reason to stand on this cow.
I think it's a little bit of memeing.
We might have to cut away.
Alu gets his high jump.
And promptly Waystone's out. So maybe high jump was needed for crafting a shard? I'm not sure Or maybe just really wanted it for
It does get you around faster.
convenience sake.
But yeah, it's not really anything else. Well, he doesn't have... Do neither of them have invert? No. Frukiel has invert.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Frukiel got invert while he was in the garden. Although it may be calculated that getting high jump off of in the lab is faster than trying to farm a simian.
Sure.
At least along with the other shards you'll pick up along the way.
Ace is not having a good time on this Carpenter fight.
Carpenter is not an easy fight.
He doesn't have Jeebles.
That's true. He's hiding, firing at Tistro.
Solsky is admiring a painting.
Alright, and there we go. He's gotten the Carpenter. The finishing blow of a Hellhound.
Good job. So that's a GG.
That should take us to 18 and a
Sure does.
time of roughly 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Oh, sit in front of that painting. You've earned it.
And I guess it should be said the other team has, what do they have, a score of 12. So with a few of these tiles that will come more quickly near the end, they will probably wrap up here. Not immediately, but not too far behind either.
Yeah, this was a fairly fast seed as it turned out, even with 18 entries.
Yeah,
So,
I would say a sub 130 for 13 objectives is good. Although we are usually used to playing solo, so the nature of teamwork here, I think, really helps speed this
Pretty
up.
sure by the rules of Rando, we have to go to 25 now. Get them all.
Godspeed and good luck.
Oh dear.
So I think one thing here that seems to be one of the key differences is even though we believe Frukiel has invert, but do they not have Aqua Stream on the Frucard's team? Because they have not
I don't
gone
think so.
to Desert Inferno area. So Aqua Stream was on the Light Elemental, Invert was on the Simian, and they do have Dimension Shift, but that's not an ideal method for getting to those lower areas. And to note, Simian and Light Elemental are two enemies that are often missed as they are not easy to farm for their shard.
Very true. So it looks like Team Solace is just going for more card items.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can continue this showcase here while the other team wraps up, so I'm not sure if we'll have a chance at the end for some interviews, too. So, we'll just hang tight and watch more Bloodstained here for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Fru and Alu really went down to the underground much, so obviously they need to go down there to get the the goals related to our friends, the cow statue and the lava. Also a bunch of other stuff down there.
Yeah, was the Warhorse key down there as well? Can't remember exactly where it was found. The gold bullet too was off the doppelganger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Vrookil's making his way down there towards our fine underground areas. And Alucard's got Deep Sinker.
Oh, Deep Sinker, okay. Where was that? There's Jackpots, the other half of that. And okay, so they do have, yeah. So Alucard will make his attempt on the Carpenter now.
He's got Jeeble. This should be much easier for him.
Yeah, you still have to be wary of the blades the Carpenter throws. They will take you out, and the Hellhound is very large and obstructive. Sometimes it's hard to see what's going on. Nice dodge there. Another nice dodge. Looks like he's got the pattern down, and there goes the Carpenter.
Got him. So that'll be 14 for them.
And Rukil now in the lab here will be able to collect gold bullet and then stand on a cow. And if he has Aegis plate, lava should come shortly after that too.
Ace is up in the Hall of Termination. I don't think they've found Zangetsudo yet. Did only the right team find it?
I'm not sure. It was in Libra, kind of just out in the open, but
Yeah,
the way
they
the
probably have it.
paths have gone, they may not have really... They may have gotten to OD and then left. I'm actually not even sure if they went to COD.
Rukil finishing up Doppelganger for that gold bullet.
Do you guys have a
Yeah.
second for me to talk about upcoming games and stuff?
By all means.
All right, after we're done here with Bloodstained, we do have Admiral Redfield running Resident Evil HD Remaster, doing Chris 80%, so keep an eye out on that. Followed by that is Conster 786 with Mega Man ZX. And following that up is Wolfman 2000 with Linna's Inceptions, which we do actually have some bid wars on. We have graphic aesthetics, which you can choose either 8-bit or 32-bit, how Wolfman will play the game. Plus, you can also name Wolfman's character and actually name the world seed as well if you guys want to throw a few dollars towards that. Right now, we still have the prize going on for the SGLIVE buttons. So any donations gets you a chance to go into that. Don't forget, you can send your contributions into any major tournament that we may run in SGLIVE 2011. Looks like someone's threw $25 at Deadly Towers. That would be a fun tournament to see, I guess. But yeah, no. So keep an eye on that. And if you or if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, you know, you can always see if there's any tournaments going on. We may throw some commands out there. And don't forget, SNES Superstars will be returning on December 11th to the 22nd. Submissions are open for the event. It will be closing at the end of SG Live on the 15th. So if there's a Super Nintendo games you guys want to run and want to be part of that marathon, let us know. And yeah, don't forget, we always appreciate your support. And let's get some more Bloodstained going on.
All right, thank you. Those sound exciting. So we have Rukiel has now just done his pose on a cow. So that's one more tile for their team. They're getting close. I believe that puts them at 15.
Yeah, so Lava Guard is obviously the easiest one to get, and he's going to go and get that right away as soon as he's through here. I don't know if they have the Warhorse key.
Yeah, that's where I couldn't remember where that was found. I believe it was somewhere down here where Rukiel is, but that could be it's just speculation on my part. Other goals, they know they have Gold Bullet now. It's a matter if they remember or know where Jackpot is. They also may be able to do some crafting shenanigans with Alcahest for a final tile.
Nobody got that 10 strength bonus.
Alucard does have Deep Sinker, doesn't he? Maybe they just don't know that they... Oh, maybe they don't have... They haven't found Aquastream, though.
Correct.
That's kind of interesting. One team found one, and one team found the other.
There's Kung Fu vests everywhere. Where are the others?
Yeah, I didn't actually note when Team Solus was able to collect 3 breastplates and these vests. So it looks like they're looking through the shop. It's looking through the shop right now and crafting to see if maybe he can get these vests or breastplates.
One must have been a drop somewhere. Guard against that lava, Rukiel. I mean, he's like standing in it. Does he just forget it's on the card?
Or maybe he doesn't have the Aegis plate. Sometimes it's hard to track which runner has gotten to which items between the 4 of them.
I guess. Why else is he down here? Just
Well,
for
I mean,
random...
if they haven't been down here yet, they don't know what they're looking for. Like in his mind, he may be looking for a Millionaire's Key or glasses or Aquastream.
I guess he does not have Aegis plate. Interesting. So Ace is up in the 8-bit zone.
Yeah, this is a cool kind of retro callback to earlier Metroidvanias, the originals, so to speak.
So in the vanilla game, it's kind of this optional side zone, which is full of really nasty enemies. But each of them drops a shard. And something important could be here just as likely as anywhere else in the game in Randomizer.
Yeah, as well as item drops too. In this seed, it hasn't mattered, but sometimes your Alcahest only comes from this zone. Everything's kind of a little bit more difficult here. But granted, we're at the end game now. It's not as big of a deal. Somewhere to caution against if you don't want to come here first thing.
Yeah, so there's 3 enemies in here and the boss. And it looks like Ace has gotten all the shards now.
A quick double check here before you...
Oh, you didn't get the ghost.
The ghost is one that can be a little bit more annoying. Okay.
There it is.
Luckily he got the shard. I was just about to curse him and say if you... there's a limited number of ghost spawns. If you don't get it, you have to defeat the boss and come back in for a second try.
And this boss does a lot of damage too, so it's very easy to get smushed here.
And there's it's a kind of more similar to old style NES kind of games. There's a lot of stuff to avoid, fire to avoid, and after you avoid it, then you just kind of get it in chip damage in here and where you can. Particularly, this fight is difficult without double jump.
Very.
If you have the other movement, it's hard to avoid the fire. The Alucard's also in the 8-bit zone. Going to join Ace here in search for shards.
It looks like Vrookil's headed up to probably pick up the jackpot shard.
Yeah, I know it was up here, but I've already forgotten which enemy it drops off of. Maybe it is the gap here.
You also get this really cool 8-bit music.
Yeah, it's a good one. Even get the 8-bit boss music.
There's jackpot. That's 17.
Yeah, so just one more then for them to clean up and call time. Alucard with a perfect, not taking any damage on the 8-bit boss.
Nice.
Unfortunately, there is no shard, and the item is 500 G. Yeah, so they're on the hunt for one of these keys, either the Millionaire key, the Warhorse key, maybe glasses, a breastplate, Aegis plate. We know where some of these things are. They do not.
So Alucard's gonna go fight Jeeble here. Don't overkill with that Hellhound.
And wisely switches to sword attacks there. You do have to switch to the Zangetsudo to slice the Blood Moon, though. There you go.
You have to actually hit the Blood Moon.
You know, the key part of this is hitting the Blood Moon.
So by doing that, you unlock access to the Den of Behemoths, which is the center of the map, but bigger. So we're going to see super large versions of a lot of the early monsters in the game. And they drop the same shards as the smaller versions of the monsters. So for the most part, there aren't extra shards in the first part of this. But there's a couple monsters that are different. There's also the Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, there's a few extra new enemies here. There's also the Race Against the Harrier, which will drop a shard. Interestingly, the Harrier also has an item drop table in Randomizer too. One you don't want to have to farm in.
No.
The Harrier is a race through an obstacle course. Takes quite some time. With Accelerator, it's quick enough, but still something you do not want to have to repeat.
I think the item drop tables for the big guys is different, though.
Yes. I know I've seen for example, the 4 times Mocha Oil normally drops off the large Mocha Wheats, but I know that can show up anywhere on any enemy in Randomizer. Just flying through this area with his Hellhound and Accelerator. Rukiel's now going to fight the boss of Inferno, Ouroboros. The damage table, or the resistances on Ouroboros, are more extreme than other enemies I've found. Weak to Holy and Fire, and takes reduced damage from just about everything else.
Maybe Alu doesn't have Aegis Plate. Sure is taking damage from all those traps.
I would think if they had Aegis Plate, they would know to route Frukiel into it to guard against lava, or Alucard would go there himself.
Yeah.
So they're probably just checking every chest they can find to luck into the Aegis Plate or one of these boss keys. And we can see here that the den is a very large zone. It is a duplicate of the garden, just where you are tiny. Even the MP up there is practically the size of you.
Super big.
Looks like Solsky found craftwork somewhere. He's moving this pillar around, I think, just for fun.
Not sure what he's doing. He's trying to do something weird.
Yeah, at first I thought he was trying to grab the frogs.
Oh, he's trying to carry the frog. This might be new frog tech.
Here's the Abyssal Dragon boss from earlier. If you missed your one chance to get a shard, now you can you have your chance to farm the Abyssal Dragon. Now, craftwork was on the cat and Oriental. Seems we've something has happened with our bingo card here too.
Oh, goodbye, bingo card. Hope somebody can find 8 moons. Ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I do still have the bingo card open locally though, so it's not lost.
Yep, same. Listen, it's hard to find the power moons in Bloodstained, but they're there. They are there. It's a warhorse key.
So, yep. Alright, so they're on their path now.
Let's go mode.
Immediate waystone, gonna save, make sure nothing, no dangers happens here, and we'll be on our way to wrapping this up. Alucard entering the Glacial Tomb now. It's really a race between him and his partner, whether he finds the last shard or item to complete the last tile before Rukiel can finish off the Warhorse, the Revenant.
Yeah, so Glacial is the last area in the vanilla game. will be here. Oh, Vrukil doesn't have Jeebles either.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way the runners kind of prioritized some items and kind of decided which ones they needed or didn't need. To be fair, with Tis Resign, there is an argument that you maybe save the time, especially depending when you find the Jeebles, to just continue with using Tisro.
Oh,
that Ruinous Root the Revenant does is dangerous. It will get you. Well, luckily, he did save in town beforehand. Give it another go. Meanwhile, Alucard is on the...
Fighting Gremory.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite fights in the game, and it comes up very rarely in Bingo. It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's a very, very well-designed fight when you don't have Hellhound.
Hellhound does trivialize a lot of stuff in this game.
Oh, wait. No, that was Dominique.
That's right, Dominique. So he is now in the Bale fight. This does not help you with any objectives on our card. So I think we're just waiting. We're waiting tight now for Vrukil to defeat the Revenant here.
I'm pretty sure Bale gives you 3 power moons.
That is that on the card though.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we might have to wait for this Revenant to go.
$40 regional coins. Yeah.
Things seem to be going a little bit better. I think he's really it's just a persistence fight. Make sure you don't get nailed by that Ruinous Root.
All right, Alucard has beaten the game. Good job. I believe we're going to come in and talk about the game with our runners for a bit.
All right. Dodges the Ruinous Root, fires a Hellhound, and gets the kill. Even gets the Feral Claws shard. That it should be 18 tiles and time.
That is indeed time at 18 invisible power moon goals.
The time of roughly 1 hour and 53 minutes, 13 seconds. GG to both of our teams of runners here, and we welcome them in. Hello, guys.
Hey, GG.
Hi. Hello, GG's. Good game.
GG.
So, first, GG and congratulations to both teams. Congratulations to Team Solsky and Ace for winning, and congratulations to Alucard and Vrukil for completion.
Yeah,
So-
I did finish the game.
Yes, you did.
True.
Nice.
And I died to Revenant.
Rip.
Ooh, ouch.
That's okay. Ace died to Carpenter a few times.
Yeah, it was
Ouch.
interesting. Both of you guys finished on a optional boss with deaths involved.
Because
That's
both
super
of you
funny.
sent the non-Jeebles person to fight the boss.
You know what?
Well-
I'm just trying to get my boy involved as well. So I was like, you got this. Finish her off.
Exactly.
He's
So,
like,
like,
I
it's
died. I'm like,
actually-
you got this.
It's harder without Jeebles, but it made more sense with the card because the person with Jeebles obviously had the Alkahest, so they could do the crafting goals
Mhm.
while the other
Mhm.
person, did the combat.
It was a neat balancing act, to be sure.
Yeah.
I think it was funny because ironically I decided to use Hellhound for funsies because I like it, and I think that killed me because I couldn't see the Ripper that got me.
Oh yeah. I heard the same thing. I was trying to be aggressive and use Hellhound on Carpenter, and I
Hmm.
I should have. When I did it correctly, I saved the Hellhound to kill out kill the demon lords. So then just use Tisro to
Yep.
mostly work on Carpenter. when
Yeah,
the
I bet
room
it
was
like 1
safe.
or 2 shots those, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like it was 3 with my int.
Okay. That's still quite fast.
Yeah, I had enough drinks.
Yep.
So I think the key difference in this race seemed to be that Team Solsky and Ace got into Underground Desert Inferno much more quickly.
That makes
Got it.
sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we were kind of wondering. We were like, okay, we didn't go a direction that they went. I know I decided we had me go train, which like we definitely found some stuff there too. Like high jump was on Baffin, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't really open much for you all,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys have invert pretty early, or?
I had.
I
it fairly
did dodge
early.
that on my way up Cathedral, so that was unfortunate. But Verkil ended up finding it, and so he was able to go underground, do all the stuff there, which was good for us.
Gotcha. Did you get Bloodsteel early?
I did, and I didn't use it at a very opportune time to use it.
Love us.
Got one shot by the blood rain
Yeah.
at
Oh,
like 500 health.
Yep.
Yeah,
That'll
that's
happen.
damage.
Yep.
I take it. Did you guys end up finding Tisro off the
Yeah,
ghost?
we found it.
We found it very early.
Same. It took me like 48 kills. Though. It was like a good 5-minute farm. I was like, "Is this worth it?" And then Tisro dropped it. Like, it's worth it. 'Cause then
Same.
it opened up like underground early for us, like because DPS was pretty low. And then with Tisro, it was just like a no-brainer for me. Yeah, just kind of go in, see what we got, and then the wolf hood dropped off the archdemon, and then the rest is history, basically. So.
Pretty much. Yeah, its DPS was slow, and then it wasn't anymore.
Yep. Yup.
then it was great.
And then there was Accelerator.
They
Yeah,
all
so many
dropped
good
it.
movement
Sure
guards at the
was.
start.
Yeah, they all dropped at good times for me too. Because like it was like he called out accelerator, and I was underground, so I can get to the demon there and take care of that. And then when he found invert, I was going to do a couple of goals in cathedral areas, so I was just able to just like kind of get that as well. So it's just really fortunate timing.
Yeah, we did notice that Verkil was having trouble getting the shard to drop, but he was persistent.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Never give
definitely
up.
want it.
I pointedly was not very early on. I was hitting like every shard in existence
You sure
early
were.
on, very, very quickly, and then things kind of slowed down later when I was like trying to get the dragon to drop Alcahest and stuff like that.
I
It's
think
pretty
the
bad.
Murderer's Dead quest that initially gave Solomon rings really kind of helped as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, you'd think it would work, but then 46 ghosts with like a 2-hit weapon, it was like, bleh. But
One thing, did Solsky and Ace, did you guys find Zangetsudo? Couldn't
Yes.
remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other question I had was for Verkil and Alucard. You guys didn't find Aegis Plate?
Sure did not.
I don't think so.
Unless I did, and I just missed it.
Oh yeah, that was in Tower 2, wasn't it?
yeah,
just
which,
a-
which room was it in, Ace?
Which room?
He's
Get
like
outta
calling
here
out
with that.
rooms, and it's like outside. I was like, hello?
He said it's the second big room in Tower. The first one when you go up from library, and he's looking like indoors in the small rooms and not the big open rooms that are
All right.
outside.
So it was
Well,
the second spiral? Was that where it was?
That's where Bromide. Or wait,
Bromide was
there?
in.
So
was
it's
in
out. Yeah, it's
guard.
outside on the second
Yeah, okay.
outside
The-
portion.
by the
Got it.
poison toad, the first toad.
But-
you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
right
yeah.
in the other
Guys,
room.
it wasn't that. He goes, yeah, it's in the big room. I'm like, hello?
There are a lot of those.
That's not correct. I said
Yeah,
the
it was.
second
You're like,
big
it's the one
room.
like when you do vanilla and it's after library. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's correct. When you do
So then I'm in
vanilla
this-
after library.
I'm in like, you know,
You
the
double
room with
jump
the
up
maledictions and
the
everything,
the
opening
malediction.
chests. I'm
That
like,
is
okay,
the
where
room.
is it? Yeah.
It's the big room when you go up after library in vanilla.
It's outdoors, dude. You don't call it a room.
I think that just highlights how important communication is in 2v2. It's a
Oh, we
really
were-
fun like
We
aspect.
were having a good chuckle.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing I wanted to mention here is Alucard, you are the sort of the creator of this bingo. Is there anything that you want to say about the bingo itself?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was really fun to work on. There's like over 240 objectives in the bingo, and I encourage people to try it out. Like, I'm a big lover of randomizers. Like, I play a lot of the Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Super Metroid, all that good stuff, combo rando. But I love the mechanics in this game, and the randomizer is built into the Bloodstained game. The developers have actually created this randomizer, and it's just really cool to see them supporting randomizer by just making this a thing. Now, when you play the randomizer by itself without the bingo, it feels like, we kind of played that out a little bit. We play a lot, and things started feeling shallow. You only need like Dimension Shift and Zangetsudo to get to the end. But once you add bingo tiles into it, there's just so much variation, and you have to think about farming strats for all the different enemies in the game. You have to look for their drop tables and figure out what's going on there. So, and it's not just me that created this. Like, there's a tight-knit community of us, like Ace, Asmati, Bad Moons, Solsky, Vrukil, all have been a part of the testing process as well. And, definitely some others out there too. So, thanks to the community for helping come together to make this a thing. I'm super excited about it, and it's brand new, so hopefully people can try it. You can go at your own pace. You don't have to race anyone. Just have a good time.
Yeah, I will say, like, I found bingo to be very enjoyable, just playing it casually with a bunch of friends. Just kind of seeing what you can get done and comparing notes, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to play it the way we're playing it. I mean, you can play 2v2, and you can play to 18 objectives like we played today. We do a lot of 1v1s where we play to 13 objectives, and it's just a free-for-all. Everybody's just going at it at their own pace, and it doesn't matter if you're a new player to the randomizer or not. You can just have a good time and just play and enjoy it. You can play lockout bingo, where you're locking each other out as you're playing. So if I get an objective and I'm playing against Ace, then he can't get that objective, and we just kind of go back and forth trying to clear as much as we can of the game and win. So it's just so many good variations you can do with the bingo, and just play the way you want to play. It's nice.
It adds a ton of depth too. Like, it really makes you kind of explore the game, which I think is a really big plus. Like, places you might not normally go, and you just send you straight there, and you gotta really check stuff out.
Yeah, and even like the same card can be drastically different with different seeds too, which is nice, because some of the goals seem easy, but if you get a certain seed where that goal's not available, you're just not going to get it.
Yeah, so I encourage you guys to try it out. Just go to bingosync.com and create your own room. It's pretty easy. You don't have to play on hard mode like we were playing today. You can play whatever mode you like.
Fantastic. Now, regarding the seed or the run today, do you have any specific comments that you'd like to address or add? I guess let's start with Ace. Thoughts on the seed?
I mean, it was a pretty open seed. It was nice. I wish my DPS would have been higher early on. I had some troubles with that. I probably should have tried to push back to town earlier to like buy a better weapon, or turned on the ghost earlier to get Tisrazion. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth seed. Everything kind of routed well for us. It was fun.
All right, and Elgard, thoughts?
Oh, it was good. I mean, as Ace said, it was just super open. A lot of options available. When you get Dimension Shift, you can basically go anywhere. And then we find Zangetsudo in Library, and the whole game's just open at that point, pretty much. We have Bromide, Silver Bromide, which let us get to train. So, the sky's the limit. We dodged a couple items like Aegis Plate and some of the keys, so we kind of routed around those, unfortunately. But, that's Randomizer for you. You make your plays, you stick to them, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, for sure. Solsky, do you have thoughts about the seed?
Yeah, I learned you can push a Blood Grinder Knight into the Iron Maiden. That's cool.
You can? That's wild.
We saw you experimenting.
I had to
there in
glitch a
the
little bit
after
to get
hours.
there, but yeah, it's pretty funny. I was like, wait a minute, and then he went in. I was like, hell yeah, it was so good. Yeah, other than that, Seed was real fun. Pretty quick Seed for 2v2 to like get 18 squares knocked out in the time we did. So
Yeah, usually this is a fast time for 13 squares, a little than 18.
yeah, and I didn't do the Care Boss square. Got him.
Rip.
I did acapella with my boy Silver Knight instead. So
There you go.
And Rukiel, what are your thoughts about the Seed?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of just echo the thoughts here. Like, I thought it was really cool because there were a lot of options. There was a lot of back and forth. I guess, like, I know Alu and I were bouncing ideas back and forth. Like, should we do this? Should we do that? Like, because there were just so many different choices to make. I felt like it really many different parts in the Seed. Like, you really, like, even just objectives wise, area wise, there were just a lot of different choices to make. And so, like, that's always a fun time because you're like, you know what, I like Underground, or I like whatever, I'm gonna go check that out. There's a lot of stuff there. Let's go see what's down there. You know, it's I think that was good. And then I do have one question as well. Do I win fashion since I sniped Winter with the ice crown and then wore it for the entire season?
Absolutely.
That was pretty good.
But no, it was a fun time.
All right, Asmati, do you have any questions for our runners?
No, I mean, I think we got to see it all. It was a very interesting layout of map. Because we got double jump and accelerator early, you got to go to a lot of places, and that Bloodsteel let Solsky into the underground where he found all the things. Sneaky. It was a fun scene to watch.
Yeah, that was. It was a very entertaining match. So thank you to all of our runners, as well as thank you to Link Force for tracking and kind of keeping us in line here.
Yeah, it turns out 4 screens is a lot of screens to watch.
There's a lot of stuff to keep track of for sure. I mean, I know even when, like, I think at one point Ella told me, hey, we have this thing, and I just forgot to mark it, and later I was like, oh wait, we're actually at 17 now. It's like, so even just with the teams, you know, tracking or whatever, yeah. So definitely a huge thank you to Link Force for helping track.
And thank you guys for commentating too.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody enjoyed it.
That was my pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Was a fun time.
And thank you for having us as well on this fine stream here.
SG Live's just getting started. So
Oh yeah,
as well. So, stay tuned. Some good stuff coming up.